Okay, it says I'm live again. Hello, hello. I don't know what went wrong here. It really lost the connection, didn't it? Hello to everybody. We'll just wait for folks to come in. Let's see if I can watch for chat here while folks are coming in. Part 2. Hi, Sharon. Hi, Lisa. Hi, little sister Cheryl. Are you Cheryl's little sister? Are you just little sister Cheryl? Hi, Holly. I'm just going to kind of give everybody time to come back in. I buffered a little even right there. Hi, Aunt Beck. Aunt Beck, did we see the last prompt, the last doodle prompt? Did it buffer away from the last doodle prompt, or did we all get to see this one being done? Did we see them all? Oh, good. Yeah, for some reason, it just totally messed up tonight. I couldn't even get it. I couldn't get it to do anything, and I got a message saying that my connection was unstable. So I guess my connection was unstable. That last doodle prompt was actually from the Life book. It actually came from this ad here. It was a show bill ad. I might have to go out and correct that. That's right in here. Lily Clay. But there's more that we could do on this, but I think we're five prompts a night, I think, is plenty. Thank you, Aunt Beck. You came in on the buff. Are you buffering yet, Barb? Hi, Lynn J. Little sister Cheryl. I'm a little sister. Okay. Well, you're welcome in here. Debbie. Hi, Debbie. Welcome, welcome. I'm just going to... Hi, River City. Lynn Wright. Hi, Lynn. Welcome, welcome. Really, if it had to buffer, that was a good place to buffer. So let me reach over here and get some paper here. We're going to do another art game tonight, and I hope you guys enjoy this. I hope I don't have a lot of silly buffering. I'm going to get out some paper here to make a list. I think I took my other list book in the other room, but this is good enough. And let me get a pen that actually writes. I'm going to go all through my pen plus gears and throw away all the ones that are getting dry because they're irritating me. And I want a pen that actually writes. Let's grab this one. You're a middle sister, Debbie? Hi, Debbie Crafty Goose. Welcome. We got two Debbies in here. We got Debbie Riddick. Is how you pronounce that? Riddick? R-I-D-D-I-K, and Debbie Lee. I'll have to call one Debbie Lee and the other one Debbie. Hi, Teresa, part 2. Southern Girl. Hi, Southern Girl. Tina? Tina from Ireland, right? Are you Tina? Or from Sweden? Tina from Sweden. Tina, I wrote you down. I know I have you in here. Yes, she said. From Sweden or Ireland? Sweden. Tina from Sweden. Welcome, welcome. That's why I write you down. I recognized you, but I couldn't remember what country you were from. That's why I write it all down. Yeah, welcome, welcome. Well, Southern, what did Southern say? Baby girl of 6. Oh, my goodness, Southern. I'm a middle child. I was the second girl. My mother had 4. I have an older sister who's passed away. I have an older brother who is graciously given me a roof above my head. And then I have a younger brother. Then there's me, and then I have a younger brother who's in Lincoln. Aunt Beck is the oldest of 6. Wow. Hi, Norma. You've been working and lurking. You didn't hear you looked up and saw you started again. Yeah. For some reason, it just really conked out on us. Whoops, it looks like I got part of something going on in here. Let's not use these. We haven't done a mind map in a long time. I'm not going to do a mind map tonight, but this is no mind mapping. No mind mapping. I hope that you guys enjoy. This is an art game, and it's kind of my inspiration. I don't know if there are art games like this out there. It's kind of a twist on the list. And this is very much an experiment, and it's very impromptu. I'm just going to kind of talk about it while we're waiting for more people to come in. We got 23 in here now, which is pretty good. Yeah, Lincoln, Nebraska. I got a younger brother who lives in Lincoln, Nebraska, capital of Nebraska. We both kind of graduated from high school and went up like all high school kids do in Nebraska. They go to the university. What am I working on? Who are you talking to? You talking to me, Teresa? We're just getting ready to do an art game. This is let's see, I'm going to mark this off. Doodle game prompt 6. We did that. Are you guys enjoying the doodle prompts, or are they just me doing a lot of chattering and scribbling? Are you enjoying them? Yes, I was an oops, Holly said. Oh, well, we love our oops. Sometimes oops turn out pretty good, Holly, and I think you're one of them. You like them? Do you like the doodle prompts? Okay. Well, just so some of you are enjoying them. I don't expect everybody to enjoy them. What I enjoy about the doodle prompts is we go out and we look at art, and it's kind of like I don't want to say a deep dive. It's kind of a shallow dive into art history. A deep dive, I think, would be into art history would be if we studied the artists and studied the paintings and all of that, which might be kind of fun to do someday. Take a painting and really study it. That would be kind of fun. But we're not doing that tonight. I want to do another experimental art game. And this is kind of, it's experimental, and I just kind of put it together this afternoon, so I might stumble through it a little, and I don't have anything written down. I wish I had it written down, but I'm going to kind of talk extemporaneously. It's just kind of flowing out of my mouth as I talk, so I might make some mistakes and have to retract. Let me know if I miss something or something like that, or if you don't understand it, because, well, you know, I make mistakes. Where's my white pens? I'm going to put the cap on this white pen. So, Cheryl is crafting, Norma. Okay, we got 31 people in here, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. And what this art game is, the way we're going to work it, it's a twist on a list. That's kind of what because that's what prompted the art game, where we were doing all of these lists. And I was sitting there thinking, well, what am I going to do for my list? Well, I know what I'm going to do for a list for next week. But I thought of it after I thought of this art game. And I went out there and I reserved a hashtag, and maybe I should write that in black. I reserved a hashtag. Now, nobody really owns a hashtag, but you can go out there and reserve one, and kind of hopefully everybody will assign that hashtag to you. And it's hashtag blur. Let's see, that's blurry. What? I guess I'm going to have to pull out a new package of pens because these are all there. Hashtag MSMERIM That's the hashtag. If we keep up with this art game, that's the hashtag that I'm going to assign to anything that comes out of this. And what I'm going to do is we're going to do a list. But the way we're going to do it is I'm going to tell a little story. And I'll give you a heads up. Aunt Beck and Janet, who's not here tonight because she's not feeling well. Janet, get well soon. They're going to kind of be characters in this story. And they're just minor characters. It isn't anything big. They're just names that I could use. And I go, I'm going to use Becky and Janet. So I'm going to tell a little story, and I need you to listen to this story, because after I've gotten to a certain point in the story, I'm going to stop and we're going to do a list. And we're going to do a list relating to the story. So, and you'll get the gist of it as we go. Then after we got the list done, then we're going to do a little art project along with it. Nothing big. So you might want to get out some scrap paper, pens or pencils, colored pencils. I wouldn't worry about getting out paint or multimedia or anything like that. Really just a sheet of paper and a pen or a pencil, whatever markers, whatever you're comfortable with drawing. So, are you all up for this? Am I ready to start? I'm going to start. I'm going to go ahead and start. So, I'm going to be kind of the main character in it because it's Miss Mary's Mysteries. So, you'll be hearing me refer to myself as Miss Mary. So, I'm going to go out right now and go to my email while we're doing this because I'm going to read something that came in my email just after I got home this afternoon. Emergency email weather alert. A severe weather alert has been issued in your area. Weather advisory issued February 22nd, 4 a.m. until February 23rd, 6 a.m. Freezing drizzle, snow, and sleet expected to increase across the region this afternoon into tonight. Then a powerful winter storm heads through the area on Saturday through Saturday evening. Winter weather advisory effect from noon today to 6 a.m. Saturday. Winter storm watch. Oh, how fun. So here's the start of the story, and I'm going to refer it. Let me go back to my YouTube channel now. All right, I'm going to start this story, so you kind of want to listen. Miss Mary read the weather advisory and goes, oh no, another storm coming through. I'll never get out of this house. I've been cooped up here for 2 weeks. I got to get to the mail and mail my envelopes. And Miss Mary just recently, now I'm kind of stumbling through this. I'm telling this story extemporaneously. So you gotta understand this isn't going to flow smooth as if I were reading it. But Miss Mary had finally achieved a lifelong dream. And when she became a reluctant retiree and had to move home to Nebraska, she went back to her hometown. And it was really a hard move, but the very best part of it was in her hometown, there was a storefront building that was empty. And it was a building that used to be a store owned by her great-great-grandmother and great-great-grandfather. Now, this part is fictitious because there's no storefront here that was owned by my great-grandmother and grandfather. So that's fictitious, but it's a part of Miss Mary's story. So Miss Mary, because she's a reluctant retiree, had to do something to fill in her time. And she walked by that storefront one day and she thought, oh, what a wonderful studio space. Wouldn't the Meri Atelier look wonderful in there? And she was able to rent that storefront space, and she holds little Saturday afternoon get-togethers with the local artists. Well, today, Miss Mary looked out the window and she said, oh no, we're going to have a get-together this afternoon on Saturday. Now, it's Saturday morning now. And she's going, oh, no, Janet's probably already there. And we're talking about our Janet. She's probably already there getting all the kits set up on the table. And I'll bet she's getting refreshments ready. Janet is just so good that way. She's getting everything ready for everybody. Well, I guess I better put on my 2 pair of socks, leggings underneath the blue jeans, 2 sweaters, my leather fur-lined coat with a hoodie that's fur-lined, and my gloves that I won in a 50,000 subscriber contest that Aunt Beck had. And she crocheted me a black and gold gloves and scarf set with mittens. So I wrapped those all around my head and I stepped out in my car and I drove downtown to my new Meri Atelier building where I'm going to have my studio. And so I get out of the car and I'm just about ready to open the door. And all of a sudden, this person slams the door open right in my face. It surprises me. It almost shocks me. And I think it shocked this person as much as it shocked me because we just stood there staring at each other for like 3 minutes. I mean, like, what are you doing here? And so we just kind of stared at each other. Then this person got really angry. I mean, really angry. And they looked at me and they said, lady, this is your lucky day. And they slammed the door to my Meri Atelier and they walked off on that icy sidewalk. I was kind of hoping they'd slip and fall, but they didn't. And their vehicle, I don't know if it was a motorcycle or a truck. I think it might have been a truck because you could hear him start it. You could hear them start it and rev the engine and screeched out of the traffic and drove off. Well, I stood there shocked for a few minutes, like, wow, So I went in and to my shock, my beautiful Meri Atelier was a mess. All the kits and everything that I knew that Janet set out was scattered all over the floor. Paper was everywhere. There were pencils every place and markers every place. I mean, the place was a literal mess. So I get, Janet, where are you? Janet, where are you? What happened in here? And Janet, I heard her call out. She was kind of behind the table picking things up. And she goes, oh, Meri, this person came in while I was setting things up and all they wanted some lead pencils. Well, I don't have any lead pencils for sale because, this is just like a little local gathering place. And Janet said, I told him that we don't sell lead pencils here. But that made him really mad because he looked around and he saw all these kits. Looked around and he saw all these kits around the table. And he said, well, what are all these? And Janet's telling me all this. And she said, I tried to tell him that these weren't for sale. These were kits and they'd already been paid for. Well, that just made this person mad. And he said, well, if I can't have any, they're going to have to pick theirs off the floor. And he just started throwing everything all around. And I tried to stop him, Janet says. But he reached out, and at that point, Janet turned around and looked at me, and she had a great big black eye. And I said, Janet, did they hit you? And she said, yes. And I said, well, you need to get some ice on that eye. I'm going to call the police right now. And she said, oh, the police in this little town, they aren't going to do anything. I said, Janet, we have to report this. You go back to the kitchenette, and you put some ice pack on that eye right now, or I'm going to call the ambulance. Well, at that point, Janet said, well, I'm not going to have you call an ambulance. And she went back and she put ice pack on her eye. And Miss Meri started to clean up the mess and call our local police. Well, in about 5 minutes, I have to say, they were good at getting there. About 5 minutes, the local policeman came in, and we're going to call him Officer Orville. And Officer Orville is a young man. He's probably about 28 or 30. and he's not an older fellow. He's just a young man, and he comes in and he looks at the mess. And I said, well, we had sort of a break-in here, and they assaulted my friend Janet, who was setting up. She was telling him that we're not a retail store, we're just a little meeting place. And so Officer Orville was taking all the reports and everything, and pretty soon all the class members, who are you here in the chat, you're all the class members, and you start coming in. You are my artsy friends. Well, I can't even call it a class. You're my artsy friends, and you're going to come in on a snowy afternoon. Blizzards don't keep you away from anything. And of course, they see Janet's black eye, and we retell the entire story. So Becky, our Aunt Beck, she raises her hand and she says, "Oh, Mary, I have an idea." And I'm going, "Yep, leave it to Aunt Beck. She'll come up with an idea. Let's hear it, Aunt Beck." And she said, "Instead of doing our regular project, let's do a list." And I'm going, "What do you mean a list?" "Let's do a list." And this is what we're going to do here tonight. Let's do a list of questions that we can ask you, because you saw this person as he stood at the door. You said you were dumbfounded for 2 to 3 minutes. We want to know what he looks like, because if we can ask you all these questions and get all this information out of you, well, then we have all this information that we can give to Officer Orville, which Officer Orville should have been asking me all these anyway, but it took Aunt Beck. She's our local detective, I think. It took Aunt Beck to say, let's make a list, Mary. So our list is going to be, and this is what I want from you. I want from you questions that you're going to ask about, and I'm going to call this about the lead pencil criminal. Lead pencil criminal. And you're going to ask me all sorts of questions about this person. And I'm going to write down all the questions as fast as I can. And then when we're done, I'm going to go back and answer them. And then at that point, after I get them all answered, you want to listen to all the answers really good, because after I get them all answered, we're going to go back and we're going to do an art project. So the story's not quite over. This is kind of like our project is coming right in the middle of this story. So how tall was he? Okay, so here we go. Question number 1. How tall was he? Distinguishing marks like moles or tattoos. Age, weight. These are good. I know these are coming from artists. Clothing, scars, jewelry, hair color. I'm going to quit numbering. Hair color. I'll put a question mark. How was he dressed? Was he dressed for winter? That's a good question. Or the weather. What was he wearing? Color of his eyes. Ethnicity. That's a good one. What was he wearing? I got that. I hope I can read my writing when we go back. Was anybody waiting outside? Anyone waiting for him? Did he have an accomplice? Describe his eyebrows. That's another good one. Tattoos. I think I'll put it again. Tattoos. Describe his eyebrows. Facial hair. That's a good one. Did he speak? With an accent? Caucasian, I think that's a question. Which way did he turn? That's a good one. Accent, voice or not? Deep voice? Was he alone? Did he have glasses? That's a good one. What hand was he using? Was he alone? Did he have glasses? What was his build? Was he wiry or stocky? Was he wearing a hat? You guys are good questioners. Did you see the kind of car? Lynn is laughing, or Lynn is laughing at Lynn. Did he have all his fingers? That is a good one. You know, sometimes that's how they identify folks. Was there another witness? Did he walk with a limp? Was he carrying a gun? We lost you. Am I buffering? Shoes. Was he handsome? Was he handsome? Am I buffering? Somebody said they left. Are you guys buffering? I'm not buffering. What did he use to knock the kits on the table? How did he knock kits off? Was he tan or pale? Gosh, you guys are asking good questions. What were his teeth like? Got the moles or birthmarks? Were there any cameras nearby? That's a good one. Have you seen him before? That's another good one. Did he look like he was on drugs? That's a good one. You guys aren't buffering? Good. Okay. Petals and Dreams is back. Good. Thank you, guys. Let me know if you start to buffer, because it could happen. I already had to restart once tonight. Did he punch Janet, or did he use something to hit her with? Did he punch or use something to hit her with? Now we know why Janet's not here tonight. She's got a black eye. Poor Janet. We're going to have to send her some roses. Long or short hair, that's a good one. Was he wearing jewelry? A wedding ring? Or watch? Did you notice any odors? Did he stink? He was stinky. I'm not sure he stunk. I have to laugh at that. Was he clean or scruffy? fingerprints. That would probably come later, but that's good. Fingerprints was a good thought. What was he upset about? He wanted lead pencils. And Janet couldn't give him any of our lead pencils because they were for the class. What was he upset about? Janet couldn't sell him our lead pencils out of the kits because we're not a retail store. We're just a gathering place. He was a stinker, but was he drinking? That's a good question. Did he look homeless? Or unwashed? That's a good question. I thought about that too. What did he smell like? So you're going to do art based on the answers from the story. No, you are going to do art based on the story. We are going to do art based on the story. Now, I will say, you don't have to show your art. Let's get to the art later. Let's go through the questions. Was he holding a potato? Where's Mark? This potato thing is getting out of hand. Did he have pain on hands, or maybe he was a guess? He was a guess of Meri. Did he have pain on? Oh, paint on the hands? Paint on his hands? Paint on hands. Yeah, got it, Petals. Did he have a work ID hanging any place? So maybe it was a Saturday morning work break, work ID around anywhere. That's a good one because he could have just stepped out for a break, and I mean he had to be an awful person to hit Janice over a lead pencil. He sure did, Teresa. Poor Janet. I can just see her sitting at home with a black eye tonight. That's why she didn't come in. She doesn't want us to see her black eye. Oh, Janet, I'm so sorry. Was his movement smooth, or did he move like he was in pain? So how did he move? Was he in pain? Was he in pain? I think Janet was the one that was in pain. But he could have been. I mean, I'm not saying he was, but it's possible. Was he single and looking for a date? Was he single and looking for a date? No, he was looking for lead pencils. Oh, dear. Was he single and looking for a date? We filled up 2 pages front and back. Let me get to another page here. Yes, Janet was upset with you over getting there so late, so she's not going to come help us out tonight. She took the bullets, didn't she? Does he have a cute brother? I have no idea. I'm kind of answering these questions here. Does he have a cute brother? I know he wanted to write with a pencil. Okay. Did he have a yellow strip down his pant leg? What does that mean? He have a yellow. Does that mean something special, Barb, that I'm not aware of? Because I'm pretty dumb about things sometimes. Down his pant leg. Does that mean he was a prisoner or something in his pant leg? Oh, your Mounties have that. Oh, okay. Thank you. Wow, would a Mountie hit Janet, though? Maybe Officer Orville might have a strip down his pant leg. Did he drop anything? That's a good question. We might have to go back and look. That's a good question. Was he skinny? Good question. Oops. Auntie Rowe is smiling. Okay, I'll give you a count of 10 and then I'm going to stop. 10, 9. If you have any questions, get them in. 8, 7. Did he have a dog? Because we need to stop this at some point. What time? 8, 7, 6, 5, Was Janet hit or was she thrown by an object? Or hit by a thrown object? Okay. Was she hit or was she hit by a thrown object? Did he have a cane? He dropped the pencils. Was he alone? What am I at? 5? Was he casing the joint? All right. 4, 3, 2, 1, stop. Okay. Wow, what a bunch of questions you guys asked. So we've got a lot of information on our criminal. Our lead pencil criminal is what we're calling him. And I want to write in a darker, I'm going to pull out a new pen because I want to write the answers a little bit darker so that you can see them. And you might need to listen up, or you can ask a question again later if you need to know something. But I'm going to go through and listen to my answers. So the question was, how tall was he? And I think he would probably be about 5 foot 9 inches, almost 6 foot. He was a little bit taller than me, and I'm 5'8". So maybe 5'10". He's not quite 6 foot, but he's a little bit taller than me. Distinguishing marks like a mole or tattoo. I didn't see anything specific, but because the door was kind of reflecting on his face. So I kind of noticed a mark. It looked like kind of a scar by the left side of his lip. So I'm going to put a scar, like maybe he ate with a knife or something, and it cut the side of his lip, but it looked like an old scar. So there was a scar on left side of lip. And by the left side of his lip, I mean like, here's his lip, like that, and the scar kind of came off in here. So age, weight, clothing, let's see, I don't know what that is. Jewelry. Did he have any jewelry? He looked to be like in his early 40s. He had graying hair, so that's how I know. He had sort of I'm just going to estimate because I don't know this fellow, but he looked like he might have been in his 40s. He kind of had graying hair all over his head. His hair was kind of longish, but it was combed back like this, sort of, kind of a full head of hair, but it was all gray. So hair color is gray, and I'm going to say it was longish and combed back. And it was, I wouldn't call it really long. It was a medium length. It probably came down to just under his ear. So it wasn't like he didn't cut it for months. He probably had a haircut, maybe 2 or 3 months ago. It was just right under his ear. Was he dressed for winter? That's the weirdest thing. I don't think this man had a coat on. So it looked like he just hopped out of whatever vehicle he was in and ran into the shop after some lead pencils, kind of spur of the moment. So I'm going to say no. I don't remember him wearing a coat. And he had shoes and slacks, but he looked kind of cold, to tell you the truth. What was he wearing? Well, like I said, it looked like he just hopped out of the truck a vehicle. I'm thinking it's a truck. I'm not sure. So I'm going to say it looked like he hopped out of vehicle without coat. He had a striped shirt, So he had a striped shirt and blue jeans. The color of his eyes, well, since we stared at each other for about 2 minutes, that's something I really remember. His eyes were a steel gray color. They were not a warm brown. They weren't that beautiful blue. They were like a steel gray, like you were looking into, well, he was angry. And his eyes were really challenging me, like he was looking at me, but he was trying to think whether I was a threat to him. And luckily he didn't hit me. He said, "This is your lucky day, lady." His ethnicity, he was a white male. He was not of another race or culture, and he was a white male, and I'm estimating in his early 40s. Why? Let's see. Was anybody waiting for him? Not that I know of, because he walked off, and about a half a block away, I heard a car engine rev up, and it sounded like a pickup. It did not sound like a car. So there might have been somebody in there, but I did not see anybody with him. And I really couldn't see the car. I just heard it. It sounded like a pickup. So I'm going to put that as not sure. Okay. And oops. I'm going to have to put my answers over here, which might be a good thing. Describe his eyebrows. He had bushy eyebrows. Bushy eyebrows. I'm going to go back and I'm going to copy these over here so that you could see him better. He was about 5'10". Did he have distinguishing marks? He had a scar. I'm going to put by left side of lip. What age? It looked like he was in his early 40s. What age? You're just estimating because you don't know this person. And you know Meri, he could be a young 25 who's totally gray. His hair color was gray, and it was longish, but it wasn't down to his shoulders or anything. And it looked like it had been combed, and it was not unkempt. Let's put it that way. It was a medium length. Kind of under his ear, just under his ear. Was he dressed for winter? It did not look like he was dressed for winter. He just had a shirt on. He had a cotton shirt on. Not looked like dressed for winter. He should have been. Poor guy was probably cold. What was he wearing? He was he hopped out of his vehicle. It doesn't look like he was not wearing a coat. He was not wearing a coat. Now hold any more questions till I get done with these. He had a white striped shirt on. I'll call it a white stripe. The stripes, who knows? They might have been a light blue or light gray. I'm not sure the color of stripes. I just saw a striped. I'm going to put white striped gray shirt. It moved pretty fast. The color of his eyes, though, that's what I saw because we were just staring each other down. I think I surprised him as much as he surprised me. So I'm going to put his eyes were steel gray. His ethnicity, he was a white male. I don't mean to pick on the white males, but my lead pencil criminal was a white male. did he have an accomplice? I don't know, not sure about accomplice. There might have been somebody waiting for him about accomplice, so we just don't know about that yet. We can't accurately say that. Now let's go to these other questions. I kind of messed up the back here. Describe his eyebrows. He had bushy eyebrows. Did he have tattoos? I did not see tattoos. If he had tattoos, they weren't showing. So if tattoos, not showing. They were probably covered up. Like there were nothing on his arms or anything like that that I noticed. Facial hair. It looked like he might have had, it didn't look like he shaved. So he had a light unshaven face. But it had been shaved yesterday morning. So, it's just stubbly gray, we'll say, stubby gray. It looks like he shaved yesterday, but not today. Did he speak with an accent? Well, the only thing that I heard in his voice, he said, "Lady, this is your lucky day," or something like, he was angry. So I don't think he had an accent that I could identify. So no accent. It just sounded like any male voice, a white male voice. I didn't hear Spanish or Italian or anything like that. He called me lady. Was he Caucasian? Yeah. Well, Caucasian, you mean white? So Caucasian meaning white. He was a white male. Which way did he turn? Well, I opened the door, and the door to this shop, the shop faces east. The shop faces east, and I was coming in, so he was coming out, so he turned to his right, which would have been south. So he went south. He went to his right, which would have been south. And he walked. He ran down the block. Now, you got to remember, this is a small town. Think of a small main street with the older buildings. So I'm going into a building, an empty building that I converted into the Meri Atelier, and it's not a shop where you can go in and buy things retail. I'd love to have that someday, but this is just like a little meeting place with a table and places, chairs where you can kind of sit around, maybe some waste baskets and a little kitchenette, that type of thing. So there wasn't anything to sell. But he did come out of the door, and after we got over the initial shock, he ran down south, down the sidewalk. Did he have a deep voice? Yes, he did. He had a deep voice because he said, "Lady, this is your lucky day." So he had a deep voice. His hair color was gray. So I already said he had a gray hair color. Did he have glasses? No, he was not wearing glasses. So let's see. Did he have, what was his build? Let's see, I missed one here. What was his hand doing or using? His hands were free. He didn't have anything in his hands. So there was nothing in his hands. I think that's what that is asking. Nothing in his hands. He didn't get away with anything. There wasn't anything there to get away with. Let's see. I can't write on that side. Let's tear this apart. I'll write over all my questions with this juicy black pen that I got out. I need some more paper. Let me grab some copy paper up here, which I should have done in the first place. Oh, we got a lot of information for Officer Orwell. This is a list, though. This is the twist on the list. This is this game that we're playing. It's a twist on the list, and it's kind of like a Meri mystery. And I kind of put this story together this afternoon. And I told it very extemporaneously, and I'm not watching chat. I'm answering all these questions. So his hand was, he wasn't had anything in his hand. What was his build? He had an average build. He was not fat. He had an average build. He wasn't fat or skinny. He just looked like an average man in his 40s, not fat or skinny. He did not walk with a limp. He did not walk with a limp. He did not limp. He ran. He ran fast. He was getting away because he knew he gave Janet a pretty good sock in the eye. Was he wearing a hat? He did not have a hat, so no hat that I know of. I didn't see a hat. I didn't see gloves or anything like that. No hat or gloves. He wasn't dressed for winter. It looks like he just hopped out of his vehicle. Kind of car. I couldn't identify the car because I just heard it. It was like down the block. So it sounded like a pickup truck. It sounded like a pickup truck. I couldn't see it. So he might have been driving a pickup truck, or he might have somebody out there waiting for him in the pickup truck. That was a good question. Did he have all of his fingers? I only saw his left hand as he was opening the door, was as far as the fingers, and he had all of his fingers on. He had every finger on his hand. He had all fingers and hands on his and thumb on his left hand, and I didn't see the on left hand, and I did not see the right hand. Did not see right hand. That was that question. Now I can get in so I can read. Were there any witnesses? The only other witness was Janet. And she kind of filled me in on what happened. I didn't see him hit Janet. I didn't see it happen. I saw the aftermath. I walked in. As I was walking in, he was running out. Did he walk with a limp? No, he didn't walk with a limp. Was he carrying a gun? I did not see a gun. No gun that I saw. If he was wearing a gun, it was concealed. His shoes were just plain black shoes with a tie, black tie shoes. They did not look polished. It looked like he kind of ran through the snow. But they didn't look holy or ragged or anything. They looked like they didn't look polished, but they just looked like they were everyday wear. They didn't look like they had holes or anything. And he did have dark colored socks. I kind of noticed that as he was running. So dark colored socks. Was he handsome? Well, he scared me so much, but I will have to tell you that I did get a good look at his face. And if I would have met this fellow across the aisle, if he would have just walked in there and said, "Can I join your art group?" I probably would have welcomed him. And I think all of us ladies, because the majority of us are ladies, would have probably thought he was a good-looking guy. So, yeah, I think he was sort of a good-looking guy, sort of good-looking. Now, handsome, kind of a relative thing. But I would have called him sort of good looking. Did he knock kits off of did he knock the kits? Oh, how did he knock off the kits? Now that Janet would have had to answer that, but we'll just say that Janet told me that he just pushed the kits off of them on the floor with his hands. So he pushed kits on floor with his hands. He was mad. He was angry. He evidently had a temper. So he pushed kits on floor with hands. he just, he just pushed them all off because Janet wasn't going to sell him one of the kits because somebody else had already purchased them. So on floor with hands. He just wanted some lead pencils. I mean, you can understand his frustration. Here we are, an art group coming in there, and he's going, "What? You don't have any lead pencils to sell me? What did I come into this store for?" But we're not a retail store. Was he tan or pale? I'm going to say he had a ruddy complexion. A ruddy complexion. He had kind of a stubble beard. CTION? Complexion? Complexion. Ruddy face. He had a ruddy face. Ruddy skin. What was his teeth like? I didn't see his teeth a lot. I saw his steely gray eyes. His anger caught me. But I did not notice any. I did not notice that he had any missing teeth or anything like that. So I'm going to put appeared to have all teeth. Just not too sure about that. But I didn't notice any missing teeth or dentures falling out or anything like that. All teeth. And were they brushed? Well, here again, I didn't really notice too much. I didn't sit there and go, "Did you brush your teeth today?" Let's see, any cameras nearby? Well, we're just a small town. I don't know. I guess Orville would have to check for cameras. I really don't know. I don't have any cameras nearby, but that might be a good thing to do. So Orville needs to check for cameras because I really don't know. Yeah, I just got this store recently in my dreams. Orville needs to check for cameras. All right, so there's two, and I'm just writing on one side because this ink falls through. So this is page 1, and this is page 2. We're on to page 3. How are you liking this story so far? Should have asked if he had bags under his eyes. Well, we'll put that on there, Nina. Did he have baggy eyes? I just noticed that. Did he have baggy eyes? And I'm going to say yes, he did, because I looked in his eyes, and his eyes were steel gray, but he did look a little like he didn't sleep last night. So I'm going to put that yes, there were bags under his eyes. It looked like baggy eyes. It looked like he lost some sleep last night. So he looked tired. He just looked tired. We'll put it that way. Let's see, did I answer all of these? Were there cameras nearby? Have you seen him before? No, he was a stranger. I've never seen him. Janet's never seen him. He was a stranger to us. He was a stranger to us. Did he look like he was on drugs? Well, he had these steely gray eyes, and I'm not a good judge of a drugged person. I would think that if he staggered or if he stuttered, he might be on drugs, but all he said was, "Lady, this is your lucky day." So I don't think he did not appear to me to be on drugs. If he was, it would be the first time that I've seen anybody on drugs. I'm not around a lot of drugged people. I'm not exposed to that, so I'm not a good judge of that character. Being from a small town. So I'm going to put no, it did not look like, he did not look drugged. But who knows? He might have been not look drugged. Did he use something to hit Janet with? Well, now that Janet would have needed to answer because I didn't witness that. But I think Janet said he hit her with his hand. I mean, he socked her in the eye. Janet, E.T. Janet said he socked her with his hand. That's how this story's going to go. He socked her in her eye with his fist. So that would, I think somebody asked if he had any jewelry or rings. And that was a good question. I want to put any rings because that kind of goes with that. And I'm going to put that he had a ring on. Janet, when he hit her, she noticed a ring on his hand, a band. We're gonna call it a gold band on on right. What do you call this finger? This is the index finger, right? On right hand. It was on the finger next to the little finger. I'm not sure what the name. It wasn't the middle finger, and it wasn't the index finger. It was this finger. Does that finger have a name? I don't know. You guys are going to have to educate me. Let's see. Did he look like he was on drugs? Did he use something to hit Janet? Did he have long or short hair? His hair was kind of a medium length. So we'll call that again, a medium length hair. And it was gray, medium length gray hair. We'll just kind of repeat that. He had medium length gray hair. We're getting through these. Jewelry, wedding rings. Yeah, here we asked for the jewelry. He did have a gold band on his right hand. Any odors? Did he stink? So was he smelly? Was he smelly? I didn't notice an odor like a body odor, but he just looked tired. He looked tired. It looked like he had some gray stubble on his face, but he wasn't homeless. That was the other question. He did not look homeless. He looked tired. He looked like he didn't sleep last night. So did he stink? I didn't notice a body odor. But was he clean or scruffy? I'm going to say he looked a little unkempt. He looked a little scruffy, but did not look homeless. I mean, he wasn't wearing holes in his shoes, and he didn't smell like he didn't bathe for 3 months or anything like that. He just looked a little scrumpy. It looked like he didn't get a lot of sleep last night. Fingerprints. Well, Orvo is going to have to look for fingerprints. Orvo will need to look for fingerprints if he does his job. We'll look for fingerprints. That's a good question, though. So he might have a time getting fingerprints because I went in there and straightened up everything, and Janet was straightening up everything, and all of you guys came in. So I don't know if Orville will be able to do that. It was not marked as a crime scene. We just called the police because it was more battery and assault, attempted robbery. Of lead pencils. Was he drinking? Or what was he upset about? He was upset because we couldn't sell him any lead pencils. He wanted some lead pencils. The poor guy wanted to draw or write or something. So maybe he was going to write a ransom note. I don't know. He was upset because Janet, A-U-S-E, because Janet could not sell him any lead pencils. There were some lead pencils out, but they belonged in the kits that were already paid for by the people coming in. So that's what got him all worked up. He was probably worked up before he got to the shop, because anybody who's going to get that upset and hit poor Janet and give her a black eye because he couldn't buy any lead pencils has to have a temper, and there has to be something else going on in his life. So was he holding a potato? No potatoes. I did not see any potatoes. No potatoes. Poor guy, he might need some French fries. Did he have paint on his hands? No, I did not see anything on his hands. Janet saw the wedding ring just before he hit her. I saw his left hand, but his left hand, I didn't see anything on his left hand, but he did have all of his fingers. It just looked like a man's left hand. He did have his shirt on. His shirt was buttoned at the cuff. It was a long sleeve shirt, thank goodness. He didn't have a coat on, but all I saw was his left hand as he opened the door. So, was he drinking? I did not smell any. I did not smell liquor. I mean, you got to understand the meeting started around 1. So if he was drinking, he would be drinking early in the morning. So, but I didn't smell anything on him, and I didn't see any bottles in his pocket or anything like that. He just had a temper. We talked about fingerprints. Was he up? What was he upset about? We talked about that. Was he drinking? Did he look homeless? He did not look homeless or unwashed. He looked, well, it looked like he didn't bathe that day, but it looked like he might have bathed yesterday. He did not look homeless. Was he holding a potato? Did he have paint on his hands? There was no paint on his hand. Did he have a work ID? I did not see a work ID. So it wasn't like he was working in an office building and stopped in for some lead pencils over his break. So he might have had one, but I did not see a work ID. How did he move? Was he in pain? He ran. After he saw me and yelled at me, "Lady, this is your lucky day," then he ran. So he moved fast. He didn't limp. He moved fast. He ran away like he knew he was going to get in trouble if he stayed, and he probably would have. He ran fast. He wasn't limping, no limp. He was out of there. He did not look in pain, not look like he was in pain. He looked angry. He did not look in pain, but he did look very angry. His eyes, I never saw such steely blue eyes. I mean, it was like I was looking in the face of a gray wolf. He looked angry. Angry. And I'm going to gray eyes again, eyes like a gray wolf. Like he was about ready to do something. Let's see, how did he move? Was he single or looking for a date? Well, he had a wedding, or he had some sort of a band on his right hand. So, it did not look like he was looking to pick up anybody, or it did not look like he was looking for a girlfriend or anything like that. I mean, it wasn't like his girlfriend was going to come in and join the group. He wasn't. I'll put it this way: it did not appear that he was looking for anybody. So I'm going to put he was not looking for a specific. Was not looking for a specific person. We'll put that. I think the question says, was he single or looking for a date? But I kind of transferred that. He wasn't after anybody for a specific person. He didn't say, where is Becky, or where is Lynn, or anybody like that. So he was not looking for a specific person. We're just about done here. Got one more page to go through. Does he have a cute brother? Who knows? I know nothing. Know nothing about his family. I don't know this person. But if he's handsome, he might have a cute brother. Did he have a yellow strip down his pant leg? No yellow strip, Barbie. So I guess he wasn't a Mountie. I learned about that one. Did he drop anything? That was a good question. We're on number 4. Did he drop anything? I didn't see him drop anything. But that might be something that we might go back and check as he was running, because I went into the store. So did not see anything fall, but it might be worth a walk down the block to check to see if anything fell out. Walk down the block as he was running, because if he's running, there might have been something that fell out. So that was a good question. He might have dropped something and I didn't notice it. Was he, I don't know what I wrote there. Was he skinny? No, he had an average build. He had an average build. He wasn't fat. He wasn't skinny. He just looked like, let's say maybe 145 to 150 pounds. Is that about average? Did he have a deep voice? He had a very deep voice. He had a deep voice because he said, "This is your lucky day, lady." He had a deep voice. I'll never forget that in his steely eyes. What time did he enter the building? Well, he was coming out when I went in, and I was a little bit late. Janet was already there getting things ready. Bless Janet's heart. We love her for all that she does for us. So I would have to ask Janet that, but let's say that he entered the building between 9 and 11 a.m., sometime up in there. I got there about 11:30, and the meeting started at 1, and by the time we got Janet's ice on Janet's eyes and called the Officer Orville and all of that, all of you were coming in, and this is the list that we're making for Officer Orville. Was Janet hit or hit by something thrown at, like a thrown object? He hit her in the face with the fist. Janet was hit in the face, so he hit Janet in face, in her eye, gave her a black eye. Poor Janet. That's why she's not here tonight. She didn't come in, did she? in eye with his fist. And it had to be his right hand. So we might surmise from that he's right-handed, because Janet said he had a gold ring on his right hand. So it was probably hit her with his right hand. Did he have a cane? No cane. He was running away. No cane. Was he alone? Well, he came into the shop alone. But was there somebody in the car? There might have been. It appeared like he just jumped out and with no coat on and was going to go in and buy some lead pencils, and we didn't have any for sale because what we had were in the kits for our class or for our project. Was he casing the joint? No, it did not look like he was looking around. So it did not appear that he was casing the joint. He came in for some lead pencils, and he got very, very angry at Janet because she wouldn't sell him any of the lead pencils that were in the kit. He had a temper. So it did not appear he was casing the joint. And I'm going to put that he had a temper, because that's had a temper. So there we go. We have 5 pages. We have 5 pages of information here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. What a list! Don't you just love these lists? Don't you just love these lists? These are the answers. This is the list here. What? Are you enjoying this? Mary, get a dog from the shop. I would love to have a dog, but I want a little lap dog. Maybe what we need are one of those little Mexican Chihuahuas. They're fierce little dogs. They probably would have bit his shoe off. All right, so that's the story. Now Becky, Aunt Beck, our lovely Aunt Beck, who comes up with all these bright eyes, says, Mary, ooh, Mary, I have an idea. And at that point, Officer Orville perks up his ears because he knows when Janet gets an idea. You know, what is that lady in Murder, She Wrote? What is her name? What's her name in Murder, She Wrote? Angela Lansbury. Well, Janet's kind of got she's kind of the town mystery solver. And when Janet gets an idea, ooh, Mary, I have an idea. Well, look at what Janet's idea gave 5 pages of information to Orville. So he's got a lot to work off of, but now there's another idea. Janet's got another idea, and Orville perks up his ears because when Janet gets an idea, not Janet, Becky. It's Becky. I'm sorry. Did I say Janet? I got them both on my mind. It's Becky who gets all these bright ideas. See, I told you I'd have some. I'm just doing this extemporaneous. It's Becky. It's Becky who's our Angela Lansbury. Good old Becky, too. So when Becky gets an idea, Officer Orville's ears pick up. It's Jessica. Thank you, Mina. Becky is our local Jessica to solve all of our mysteries, but she gets good ideas. So Mary goes, what's your idea, Becky? She says, well, we're all artists here. This is what we do. Instead of, we'll just save our class assignment for another day. We'll meet next Friday night. Let's draw a picture. Let's all just get out a sheet of paper and a pencil or whatever we have handy, and let's draw a picture based on what Mary told us of what this criminal, this lead pencil criminal, might look like. And now, I'd like to see you guys actually do this. You don't have to show the picture. You don't have to, if you post it someplace, like you could post it in Aunt Beck's group or Tanya's group or Lisa's group, or put it on your Facebook page. You can even drop it out on my page if you want to. Marydale Abrams on Facebook. You can post it on my page as long as it's clean. I mean, I don't want a dirty picture, a dirty, dirty-minded picture. But, or if you put it on Instagram or something like that. I almost wish that you guys could post on the community tab, but only you can put it in the comments. You could put it in no, I don't think you can post a picture in the comments. That's just, they don't give us that ability. So, but you can post it on my Facebook page if you want, or you can post it in one of the groups, or you might. Am I back? Well, little sister Cheryl, you can color them gray. Just draw some eyes and color them gray with maybe your lead pencil. Lead is a graphite. A pencil lead is kind of a gray color. So that's steel gray. Well, maybe you can add a little blue colored pencil in there and get them to look steely. At least when we buffered at a good point. So you don't have to show these if you don't want to, but it might be fun for you to go ahead and draw it out and kind of compare it to what everybody else draws, because my guess is, as I'm going to read through all of these while we're drawing, my guess is that a lot of these pictures will have a lot of similarities, and you might not think that your drawing is good enough to show, but you might have something on your picture that'll tip Officer Orville off that just might be the thing that catches our criminal. So, don't be shy if you don't think you can draw a good face, because this is not about drawing a good face. This is about all of these things that we observed, and we're going to kind of do all these drawings, and then we're going to show them to Officer Orville, and we're going to find out if we'll probably have to wait till next week to see if he catches this culprit, this criminal. But Officer Orville really wants to catch this guy because he's been getting reports in nearby communities that somebody is going around not stealing, not just going around and causing general, what do you call it, vandalism, just breaking windows, and just being ornery mean. Painting graffiti on walls and that type of stuff. And he'd really like to put a stop to this. We don't allow this stuff going on in our community. So anything that you can draw might give a good hint to Officer Orville. So, but you don't have to show it if you don't want to. It might be fun if you just want to draw it and maybe compare it to what everybody else draws. Now, I will tell you, I went out to Pixabay and I found a picture of a man. It looked like he was coming out of the door, or maybe he was in a window. There was a lot of reflection around him. So I have kind of a picture that I'll show you next week. And it's Pixabay is where you can, photographers will put pictures out there that you can, they're free for artists to use and everything. So we'll kind of look at that next week too. Pedal says, I don't know how to draw or make stick figures. You should make a class in drawing for beginners. Well, I could do that, Pedals. But okay, here's the thing. If you don't think you can draw, maybe doodle. Can you doodle? Can you doodle a round circle? And, maybe put some hair on it, and maybe what you remember for this man, maybe draw some gray eyes in there or something. This is not about getting a beautiful drawing. This is about putting down on paper what we have how we've identified this man. And I just have a guess, Pedals, that we're going to come up with some good. Or here's another thing. It doesn't have to be a drawing. You might want to go out and get some magazine images of a man and sort of put together what you think this person might look like. That would be a little bit more involved than sitting down and just sketching them out, but it's a thought. If you can't draw, go find a picture of a man and says, okay, he looks something like this, but. Bye, Gloria. Thanks for stopping in. Can I ask about his chin and jaws? Square, or did he have a cleft chin? He had sort of an angular face. Let's put that on there because that's a good question, Suze. He had, let's put it in here. We'll squeeze it up here. Well, no, I'll put it number 6 because I don't want to lose it. He had an angular face. Not a long face, but like a man's face is kind of angular. And did he have a cleft chin? I would say a minor. I'd have to go look again at that picture to be sure. But in my memory, I'm going to put a minor. It was not a deep, not a Kirk Douglas cleft chin, but just kind of a minor cleft. Am I spelling that right? Chin. It was a man's chin. It wasn't just a round, smooth chin. He had a stubby beard, so it wasn't a deep cleft in his chin, but he had an angular cheekbones, and his face was not fat. He had a man's angular face. He looks like this to me because he's a dog hitting Janet. That's right. He looks like a dog hitting Janet. Only maybe not a poodle dog. He might be more of a wolf dog. His news. Okay, so I'm going to just kind of read through these. And if you don't feel like doing this now, I might put these out on my community tab. And maybe next week, if you feel like it, work through these. But if you want to do this right now, I'm just going to take some time and review all of our answers here. And we're not going to spend a whole lot of time on this, but I want to review it because I have a hunch that those of you who are actually doing this, I just have a hunch that there'll be a lot of similarities. I was going to call this game, I was going to call it Forensic Artist and go that way, but I think that would scare you all away. So I'm just calling it hashtag Mary's Mysteries. It's hashtag Miss Meri Mysteries. And I'll do a drawing, but I'm not going to post it till next week. Blue jeans, a gray and white striped shirt. Yes. See, Mitzi's listening. She knows, she's got this down in her head. He had black shoes, like black tie shoes on. Did I say he had socks? I said he had socks. Let's go through the questions. And then after I read through them, make a note if I miss something and you have a question. So he had bushy eyebrows. He was about 5'10". He had a scar on the left side of his lip. He looked to be in his early 40s. He had gray, longish combed, medium hair that just came right under his ear. E-A-R, ear. I'll write these out on my community tab. He did not look like, what did I say? He did not look like he was dressed for work. Yeah, he didn't look like he was dressed. He did not look like he was an office worker. He didn't have a white shirt and, black pants and that type of stuff. He was not wearing a coat. He wore a white striped, boy, I spell bad. He wore a white striped gray shirt. His eyes were steely gray. Now, little sister Cheryl obviously is thinking about his gray eyes, and that's a good thing because that's what I noticed the most were those steely gray eyes. I mean, we surprised each other. It shocked me to see him coming out of the shop, and I think I surprised him. So that's what I noticed most was his steel gray eyes. He was a white male. I'm not sure about if there was anybody accomplice accompanying him. If he had tattoos, they weren't showing. He was lightly unshaven. He just had it looked like he forgot to shave that morning. It looked like he had a stubble, but he had shaved like the day before. He did not look unkempt, like he didn't have a mile-long beard and mustache. He did not appear dirty. He did not have an accent, but all I heard was, "This is your lucky day, lady." He was a Caucasian white male. He ran south down the block that was to his left. My atelier storefront faces the east, so he went to his right, and that would have been south. He had a deep voice. He was not wearing glasses. He didn't have anything in his hands. He had an average build. He was not fat or he wasn't skinny. He did not limp. He ran fast. He was doing his getaway on foot. He had no hat or gloves. It looked like he just jumped out of his vehicle and run into the store thinking he was going to get some lead pencils. The vehicle, it kind of sounded like, it was a half block away, so it kind of sounded like when he revved the engine that it might have been a pickup truck, but I really didn't see the vehicle. I heard it. He did have all of his fingers and thumb on his left hand, but I did not see his right hand. The only other witness was Janet. He didn't show a gun. If he was carrying a gun, it was concealed. He didn't threaten anybody with a gun. He had black tie-up shoes, black tie shoes that were not polished, but but they looked like they were not unkempt either. They didn't look like they had any holes in them or anything like that. He had dark colored socks on. There's the sock thing. I don't know if they were navy blue or black or brown, but they were dark colored. He was sort of good looking. I mean, his face was sort of good looking. You know, he had an angular jaw, and Suze asked if he had a cleft. He had a minor cleft chin. It wasn't a deep cleft like Kirk Douglas, but he was sort of good looking. Janet said, pushed all the kits off on the floor with his hands. He was just having a little temper tantrum. And because Janet couldn't sell him any of the lead pencils, he just decided he was going to mess up the room a little. He had a ruddy face, which means that it wasn't like a smooth skin or anything like that. He had kind of a ruddy male complexion. He appeared to have all of his, I'm not sure what that is. He appeared to have all of his fingers and feet and all of that. He wasn't limping. I'm not sure what I wrote there. I'll have to go back and read the question. Orville will have to check for any cameras in the area. I don't know about that. Was his eyes baggy? Yes, he had baggy eyes. It looked like he was tired. The man looked tired. It looked like he didn't sleep very well last night. Maybe he slept in his vehicle. Who knows? Neither Janet or I had seen this person before. He was a stranger to us. He did not look drugged, although I can't say that unless this person was acting strange, that I would really know if anybody was drugged or not. You know, if they were off in La La Land and really acting strange, I would think they were drugged, but I'm not an authority on drugged people. I admit that. Janet said that he socked her in the face with his fist. I got with his finger, with his fist. And on his fist, he had a gold ring on his right hand. So he must have socked her with his right hand. So we can kind of think he might be right-handed. He had medium-length gray hair. He did not look homely, and he did not smell. No smell that I could identify. It wasn't like, ew, you stink, get away from me. No, it wasn't like that. But I didn't smell any aftershave or anything like that either. I was shocked. Orville will have to look for fingerprints, but that might be kind of hard. And what upset him was Janet couldn't sell him any of the pencils because we're not a retail store. We're just a meeting gathering place. No, he did not have any potatoes, although we might stock up on potatoes to throw at vandals. I didn't smell any liquor on him. He did not have a work idea. He moved fast. He was not limping. He was running. He was running away. He did not look like he was in pain. He looked angry. He had gray eyes like a gray wolf. That's what I noticed most about him because, it just shocked me when he opened the door because I wasn't expecting it, and he wasn't expecting to see me. It didn't look like he was looking for anybody specific, like a girlfriend or a mother or a grandmother or anything like a sister. He didn't come in saying, where's Becky or where's Janet or anything like that. He came in looking for lead pencils. We don't know anything about his family, so we don't know if he's got a brother or a father or anything like that. There was no yellow stripe down his pant leg. We didn't see anything. He was dropped. We did not see him drop anything. Did not see anything drop. He was running. He was running down the block, and he was an average build, about 145 to 50. He had a deep voice. The time was between 9 and 11 in the morning. I got there around 11:30, and it already happened. He hit Janet in the face with his fist. He had no cane. He came in the shop. It did not appear that he was casing the joint. He wasn't just browsing around. He wanted some lead pencils, and he just had a temper tantrum. And Suze asked about angular. What did he have? An angular face and a minor cleft chin. So he did have an angular face and a minor cleft chin. There's a problem there. All right, let's see what the problem is. He had baggy eyes because he was all night driving looking for a pencil to write with. It could have been dreams. What's the problem, Lynn? There's a problem there? Did I miss a problem? Hi, Adie doll. Janet seen the ring on his right hand. Well, Janet saw the ring on his right hand because he hit her with his right fist. And she saw that fist coming. There's a hand problem. How did you see a gold ring on right hand if you didn't see it? Well, Janet saw the fist coming toward her face. I did not see his right hand. I think that's the problem. When I was going in the door, all I saw was his left hand because he was opening the door with his left hand as he was going out the door. His right hand was either down at his side or I don't know where his right hand was. I saw his left hand and he had all of his fingers and thumbs. But I didn't see his right hand, but Janet saw his right hand with the ring on his finger when he hit her in the face, hit her in the eye. So I think that solves the problem. No, I said he punched with the right hand. I wrote down, didn't I write it down? I might have said the left. I'd have to go back and listen. I said that he opened the door with the left hand and he hit Janet. If I said that he hit Janet with his left hand, I meant his right hand. That could be a problem. He hit Janet with his right hand that had a gold ring on his right hand. That's the story. So if that's the problem, I hope that clears up the issue. Okay. Well, if I said the left, it was a mistake. He hit Janet. I could have very well, because sometimes as I get to talking, I say things that come out of my mouth and it's not what I'm thinking. So, yeah, I think I said that he might have been right-handed with the ring. So that as I was talking and repeating everything, I might have repeated it with his left hand. I'd have to go back and listen. But I do sometimes call Lisa, and Lynn, somebody else. I get sometimes my lips don't say what my head is thinking, so it's very possible that I might have said the left hand. So to clear it up, he hit Janet with his right hand that had a gold ring on it. And I saw his left hand as he was opening the door. I couldn't see his right hand. Yeah, kind of draw him. What we want to do is we kind of want to kind of give, because we're artists. We're really good artists. we kind of want to do a picture or pictures, and it's just Mary's guess from all this information. And I'll try to type all this information out on my community tab so that you can go back and review it. If you want to do it, I think it would be fun to see what you come up with. But I'm not asking you to do it. I'm not demanding it or anything. I would just like to see what comes out of it. And it's my guess that we'll see a lot of similarities. And, but somebody might notice something or draw something that will catch Officer Orville's attention and catch his attention and help us catch our lead pencil criminal. Now, this is kind of the end of the story, except I will say that all the class members stuck around, and even Officer Orville stuck around because Janet was serving hot chocolate and refreshments, and he just wanted to be around in case the lead pencil criminal came back. So he's just going to spend the afternoon in our art meeting. So yeah, Collage. I would love to see that 80 doll. I'd love to see what you guys come up with. And next week, I will. I mean, even if 2 or 3 of you do it, I'll bet you that there are a lot of similarities, and I'll bet you that it helps us catch our lead pencil criminal. So that's kind of a long story, and I kind of chattered a lot. I might try to cut this down, and it won't. Let me tell you this: it will not always be a drawing of a person. I'm going to try to get other kind of little Meri mysteries in here, and I'll try to maybe shorten it. I mean, here we did a great big long list of questions, and then I had to go through and answer them all. So next week, if we do this again, or maybe not next week, maybe the following week. When we do it again, if we do it again, I'll try to make it something different other than a person, because I know not everybody draws people, but you do some kind of art or you wouldn't be here. So thank you, Sharon. So that's my art game. Yeah. You know what, Holly? That's okay. You don't have to be perfect at people. And even if you get his gray eyes in a circle, or a rectangular head, or you might just draw his nose. Nobody asked about his nose. You might get his nose in such a way that Officer Orville looks at it and says, I know that person. Or he might look at that nose that you drew, Holly, and he says, that nose. I've seen that nose before. It's on a wanted poster over in the next state. So don't dismiss yourself, because you might do something on your drawing that might help us catch our lead pencil criminal. Mina, if you want to post it you can post on my page if you want to. Are you on Facebook, Mina? I miss whether you're on Facebook, but if you want to go out there and put a picture of your drawing on my page, just go to I'm Meri Abrams on Facebook. You can just go to my page, my personal page, and post it out there. Hashtag it as hashtag. Let me go there. Hashtag My Meri Mysteries. And then I'll look for any that are out there. Yes, you can post the hashtag on when you post it, put that hashtag on it. But you don't have to put it on my page. You can put it in one of the art groups. You can put it on Instagram. Some of you have community channels. If you want to put it on your channel page, wherever you want to post it. Hopefully I'll be able just to Google the hashtag and find it. Hashtag Miss Meri Mysteries. Yes, don't forget the hashtag. You're on Facebook? Yeah, well then if you go out, let me write my Facebook right here. It's MERIDEL, and it's Abrams, ABRAMS. That's my ID on Facebook. So you can go to my page and just post it there if you want. What are you laughing about, Cheryl? Thank you, Sherlock story. Yeah, it's Miss Meri Mysteries. But, don't think that we're always going to have a person to draw. There might be an art mystery. Who knows? Now, I'll just throw out an example. We might have to look at a painting and figure out a mystery in a painting. So, who knows? I don't know what the next mystery will be. But I'll tell you this, they will not all be people. This is just what I came up today because that's where my head was. Did not see the place to post. Are you on Facebook, little sister Cheryl? If you're on Facebook, you can go to my Facebook page, my personal page, Meri Abrams. That's also in my description box on my videos. If you scroll all the way down, you'll see all my social media. I'm Meri Abrams on Facebook. You can put your drawing on my page. Yeah, this is your lucky day, lady. I'll be dreaming about that guy tonight, believe me. You know what? This LPC art game was a great idea. Thank you, Mitzi. Thank you. What did Sharon say? Sharon, I'm with you. Sharon said, next week, a cat mystery? Okay. We might have to get Aunt Jessica involved in the cat mystery. Yeah, maybe a cat mystery. Maybe something along, what's that? There's a cat, the Cat Who mysteries. Maybe we can have the cat doing things, and we'll have to figure out what the cat is doing to solve the mystery. Would you like that? You know, Aunt Beck's always talking about her kitty cats doing things. So, hi, Aunt Beck. There you are. I'm going to put the details on my community page. In fact, I think I'm going to go ahead and close out the group, the stream, and go do this right now. And then it'll be out there until, well, it'll be out there forever. So, and you can post, if you do this, it's not a requirement that you do this, but if you think this sounds fun, you want to post it in Aunt Beck's group or Lisa's group or Tanya's group, or you can put the drawing on my page. The only thing I ask is you hashtag it Miss Meri Mysteries. Okay, good night, Suze. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks for popping in, Suze. Cat mystery. Whoa. Yeah, we might have to get Aunt Beck now that she's popped in here. She's really got to get to sleep. Okay, good night. We're going to do a cat mystery next week. We'll work up a cat mystery over next week. I'll have to think about it a little, but all right. I'm going to call it a night. We didn't do much art tonight, but we had fun anyway. So thank you everybody for coming. I'm going to close out the stream. Have a great week. I might do, since I didn't do any art tonight, I might come do an impromptu sometime this weekend, maybe late tomorrow morning, just depending on if there's anybody else on. If I'm not on tomorrow morning, I might go sometime tomorrow or Sunday afternoon, just depending. I want to work in my bank book. So good night, everybody. Have a really great weekend. We're getting snow here. I read you the weather report. Thanks for coming. It's been really good fun. You guys asked. I am just impressed with all the questions that you ask. I got to go back and read all my scribbly writing. Good night. Good morning, Tina. Thanks for popping in.